He had a few good cars?
Oh, a lot of good cars.
Was that wise?
I think those guys didn't really think about wise.
No, that's a good point. No, that's true.
And
prudence wasn't really their go.
it was the old expression that a wolfie's wages were 80 quid plus half the cargo. I made some reference to Ray Chuck being a legend.
Yeah.
And the comment I got, it's one of the few comments I got from Ian, is he wasn't the architect.
I'm Andrew Rule, this is Life and Crimes. Today in the studio we have a guest, a very special guest, and his name is Gregory Carroll, probably known more as Greg Carroll, I imagine. And Greg Carroll has a surname that some of our listeners might find vaguely familiar, and that is because Greg is the younger brother of the late Ian Revell Carroll, who was at one time a Golden Gloves boxer, or at least a pretty handy boxer, who moved, as many boxers did in the good old, bad old days, into a sort of shadowy world inhabited by painters and dockers and scallywags of all sorts. And from the boxing gym to the docks, he moved into the sort of crime scene. And it is widely held that he was one of the 6 armed men who robbed the Victorian Club, as we will call it, the great bookie robbery in April 1976. Welcome, Greg. You are Ian Revell Carroll's brother, and you've written a very handy book called 11 Minutes.
Yep.
Which, as I've said to you away from the microphone, and I meant it, is one of the better examples of the sort of self-published genre. I think it's tight and tough and very readable. And in fact, I compared it when I was talking to you with the work of Brian Brown, now excellent Australian actor who's turned his hand to writing.
I haven't read any of Brian's work, but I think I'll have to get into it now.
Yeah, I think it's sort of up there. You're not quite as famous as Brian, but you do share those rugged good looks.
Oh, right, thank you.
Yeah, rugged anyway. When did you decide to write 11 Minutes, your most excellent novelised version of the great bookie robbery and its aftermath?
Well, I guess you'd have to say I idolised my brother, as you would. I mean, the big difference in
age.
Things. And he, from the bookie robbery, from being in the Secretary of the Union, all that, he had quite an illustrious career. I originally set out to write a biography on him. Yeah. Obviously, being related, I collected all press clips and everything over the years, so I had a wealth of background knowledge. Yep. But I got to a point when I was writing the biography, there were too many gaps. Yeah. I mean, the book would have been a waste of time. Yeah. Then at some stage, it dawned on me, well, why don't I just fill in what I think? And
might have happened,
Might have happened, and call it a novel. So no one can argue with me about whether I'm saying is right or wrong. It's a story. Yeah.
Your brother, without putting too much mayonnaise on it, was the black sheep of the family, I imagine.
From my father's point of view, yes, very much so.
And you weren't.
Yes. So
tell us more. Take us back to your childhood and where it started, because we're going to get to the great bookie robbery, obviously. But
right, start with that. Well, Ian was the oldest of 4, and I was the youngest.
What's the gap?
About 9 years.
9 years, okay.
Yeah. And my father was his stepfather. So Ian was actually born in England.
Okay.
And then came over here and...
With mum, and mum married your father?
Correct.
Okay. Yep.
And then the other 3 of us were from him.
So you're half-brothers?
Half-brothers, I guess.
Do you know who his natural father was? Or did your mum ever say?
Yeah, I know his surname was Gardner.
Okay. Which bit of England?
Surrey.
Yeah.
And London, really. I think my mum and her family were really Londoners, probably south London.
Yeah.
But they'd like to say they were from Surrey, I think.
Oh, okay.
And
she migrated as a young woman?
Yeah, well, after the war.
After the war?
Yeah,
okay.
So obviously England was in dire straits.
Yes, of course.
After the war. So they came out as, I assume, 10-pound bombs. But
a mother and child?
Yes. They came via South Africa, and that's where they met my father. So my father's South African.
Oh, okay. Right.
And they got married in South Africa and then...
Came here?
Came here.
Oh, right. And what did your father do?
He grew up on the mines in South Africa.
Yeah.
So I think carpenter and pattern maker.
Yeah.
Obviously went into the army during the war.
Yeah.
They came over here. He worked as a refinery worker in Altona, I think it was, when I was a kid in those early days. We lived in Yarraville.
Yeah.
He then rejoined, but not rejoined. He was in the Army and he joined the Air Force here, the Australian Air Force.
Right.
And he did drafting.
Yeah, so he's a
in
pretty
Air Force.
smart, capable man and law-abiding.
Yes, very much so.
Hard-working.
Yes.
I mean, he obviously had a range of skills.
Yes.
And big on discipline.
Yeah, well, if you know South Africans, you know they're big on discipline.
They are. And how was home life? So your older half-sibling was Ian, who was to some extent probably slightly different in some respects from the rest of them.
I never really thought of him being anything different than my brother.
Okay.
Obviously, it probably caused the friction between him and my father.
Oh, yeah.
And so he... I don't know, rebelled, I guess you'd call it these days, but he started getting in trouble quite early.
Yep.
And at 14, he got charged and sentenced for larceny, which was basically just stealing, and went to Tirana.
What, pinched a bike or?
No. He was breaking into shops and stealing smokes, actually. But,
of course he was. And went to Tirana, which, of course, is the start of many a criminal career.
Yeah, well...
Did he get the Tirana star tattooed on his ear?
No,
No,
he didn't. No, he had plenty of tattoos.
Yeah.
There was no star, and no, he didn't have any tattoos on his ears. No.
Okay.
But he did refer to it as the best school he ever went to.
Yeah. And how long was he in?
18 months.
Oh, okay.
So
Bon Scott goes in Perth and comes out a rock singer, and Revell goes in and comes out a fighter.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
It's a version of the same thing.
Yeah. So, and I guess he became a fighter first, and in Richmond and the inner suburbs, that kind of leads yourself to being, what do you want to call it?
Around the
muscle.
knockabout groups.
Yeah.
So he went to Leo Berry's gym.
Yes.
He went to Leo's, And he would have been a contemporary of all sorts of interesting characters.
Yeah.
Leo, the Lout McDonald and others.
Yeah.
All sorts of people.
Yeah.
Some of them well known, some not so, but they all knew each other.
Yes.
And the fight crowd in those days was an interesting crew, and many of them were trained or did train at Leo.
Yes, yeah. And Leo was around forever.
Leo was around forever. He told me once, he said, not all my boys went the right way or the way I would have wanted. I'm not.
Yeah, that'd be right.
That's about as much as he'd say.
Yeah.
But funny old bloke.
So from there, he ended up on the docks, Painter and Dockers.
Yep. As a pretty young fella.
Yes. Yeah, 17 I think he was when he started.
How good a fighter was he? In the ring, good enough to win a few, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't... He was on TV ringside.
Oh, yeah.
Golden Gloves, obviously, but he never achieved any great...
Stepped out of it before he could...
Yeah. So he
had other interests.
Yeah, he found other ways to use his skills.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yep, okay. And what weight did he fight at? He wasn't overly big, was he?
Lightweight, yes.
Yeah.
So, I was taller than him, so...
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, so, he referred to me as his little brother, but...
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I was about an inch taller than him.
Oh, okay. He was a genuine lightweight. He wasn't...
Yeah.
Which is, Barry Michael fought lightweight. That's sort of on the small side of middle size.
Mm.
Ian was with the Painters and Dockers. He ended up involved in the union quite heavily, wasn't he?
In 74, probably 73, he got appointed as secretary after Shannon left the world.
Oh, yes.
And
that's the late Pat Shannon, yeah.
Pat Shannon.
He left the world, yes, he did, down at a pub that's now got a different name.
Yes.
It later became the Water Rat or something.
Yes,
but
I think it's now called the RT, I think.
They changed its name a couple of times. But
well, they needed to. Druids in the old day.
It had a few, the Druids in the old days. And Billy Longley was, I think, convicted over that.
Yes, he was. He got convicted, and he always maintained right through to after his release that it wasn't him and that he was stitched up. And
they got him for one he didn't do.
Yeah.
He did plenty of others.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, so...
The bloke who pulled the trigger might have gone inside, and I think he was on an assisted Chopper Reed to cut his ears off. At Chopper's request, the actual shooter, I think, young bloke. But Billy was tied into it, apparently. A bit of Doc's politics.
Oh, it was very much. I mean, that was the whole basis of the Waterfront Wars, which was from...
All down to money in the end. Who was going to divvy up?
Yeah, well...
Who was going to divvy up the...
Yeah, it was kind of an unofficial crime control of Melbourne, I think, to the Painter and Dockers.
And so,
there was a war over who ruled.
Who ruled.
And
so they had all the good rackets, did they not? They had the ghosting, so you'd have
ghosting,
6 blokes in a crew, but there'd be 10 pay packets or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think out of Costigan it came out that twice as many people were paid as actually
worked.
Were in the unions.
Yeah.
But they looked after each other.
They did. They did, no doubt about it. So by the time he gets involved in that, he might only have been 20, 21 when he's quite young.
Yes, very young.
And so you're still a school kid. Yeah?
Yes, I would have been at that
and
stage.
You were at high school in?
Primary school was in Yarraville. I grew up in Yarraville. And then for high school, the family moved over to the east side.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and
far, like well out.
Waverley.
Waverley, okay.
Yeah, so which in those days was far out. But,
too right, yeah. We had orchards next door.
Yeah. So I went to high school there and...
Okay. And how'd you go? What did you do?
Not good.
Oh, not good. Okay.
No. I wasn't a nice kid. Looking back on it now. But no, I got kicked out in fourth form, which is year 10 now.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went and did night school at Springvale.
Yeah.
Night school and buckled down, yeah. So
said you were right, Dad. I should work harder.
Well, he said either get out or get some qualifications.
And you did?
I did.
And what did you do then?
I got into computers.
Yeah.
But in those days, there wasn't degrees. Right. I actually did a diploma of business at Caulfield Tech in those days, which is now part of Monash.
Yeah.
So I did a diploma there, again at night.
Yep.
And then...
What were you doing in the daytime?
Computer work. I started off in a computer company as what they referred to as a tape librarian. You wouldn't understand it these days, but before discs, there were tapes.
Yes, I'm with you.
Reel-to-reel tapes.
I'm that age, yeah.
Yeah, and I was the gopher that had to get there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Get the tapes.
Get all the tapes out, the roster of what it had, and then put the others away.
Great big machines.
They were. Yeah, they were. They were huge. They took up a floor, these computers, and they probably sit on your desk today.
Yeah. Your phone's got more power.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So at what stage did you start work? What year?
74, I think
74,
it was.
so 2 years before the Great Bookie robbery, you're a young bloke
working. Yep.
Okay. Of course, most listeners will know of the Great Bookie robbery. What we have here today is Greg Carroll, whose oldest brother Ian was one of the Great Bookie robbers. Now, the others, it would appear, were Vinnie Mickelson, who could still be alive today.
Yes, we don't know what happened to him.
He is the only survivor at this point. Laurie Prendergast, who vanished.
He vanished and declared dead in 85.
The man that was regarded as the leader, the general, the man on the ground who was Raymond Patrick Chuck, also known as Ray Bennett, a very good crook, one of the better ones. And it wasn't Russell Cox. He wasn't present. He was in jail in New South Wales at the time. But there was another one or two there, weren't there, Greg?
Yeah, there was Tony McNamara.
And Normie Lee. And we've heard about Normie Lee before. He also was a fair bit younger than... He was born in 1950, I think, Normie Lee. So they were relatively young blokes at this stage, in their mid to late 20s, weren't they?
Yeah.
And Normie Lee, of course, died in an armed robbery some years later at the Melbourne airport. We've talked about him before. He was the man with the dim sim factory.
Yeah, and that's a story in itself.
So those are the real life names, and Greg Carroll actually knew 2 or 3 of them quite well, and he'd met most of them. What was your impression of Ray Chuck, as in Ray Chuck alias Bennett?
I was always basically not told, but inferred to get lost when he was around.
Yep.
I lived around the corner from Ian, so nearly every weekend I'd be at Ian's place.
Oh, okay. Where was that?
Initially it was in Ringwood.
Yeah.
And then
moved out further.
Moved out to Wonga Park
he got cashed up a bit.
He got cashed up.
And he bought the big block out there.
Yep.
Triple garage probably.
It was a barn. We used to call it a barn.
Yeah.
It was not a lot more than triple.
Oh, right. He had a few good cars?
Oh, a lot of good cars. I mean...
Was that wise?
I think those guys didn't really think about wise.
No, that's a good point. No, that's true.
And
prudence wasn't really their go.
I guess I can talk about it.
Yeah.
That they had contempt for the police.
Yeah.
Ian would make comments like, the cops couldn't find their ass with 2
Well, they're
hands.
all dead now, so you can say what you like.
Yeah. So they didn't really think that they had a problem.
What sort of cars did Ian by possibly post 76. I'm sure everybody's interested.
Yeah, okay. Well, he had a lot of old cars. He had I think it was a 29.
Oh, right. He's a bit of a collector.
Oh, yeah. He had a Dodge 56. He had a couple of 56 cars. He had, a Cadillac.
Did he?
With the Cadillac DeVille, with the fins and all that. It was magnificent.
Stuff. Lovely. What did your parents think of this? What was the conversation at home when he wasn't there? Or
it was the case when I was still at school, and he would only come around to see his mother, obviously. So, and father and him never got on. Okay. And he would have only been 19 or maybe 20 at the time. He came around in the Cadillac
to see
to
the
visit
mother
Mum.
of all of you.
Yes.
Yeah,
visit Mum. And
yeah.
But I remember on that trip, he came out and played with me outside. So, I mean, he was still,
all right.
He spent time with us even back then.
Yep.
But he turned up in the caddy. And
so this is late 76, 77 something?
No. This is before.
Before that.
This
okay.
is when he
was already cashed up a bit.
He was already cashed up from the docks.
From the docks, yeah. So he was rolling along pretty well.
Yeah, so this would have been...
Drawing 3 wages for a start.
Yeah, and they collected souvenirs as well.
Oh, obviously. No doubt. As it went past, they tax each.
It was the old expression that a wolfie's wages were 80 quid plus half the cargo. When he came around that time in the caddy, father just referred to him as a criminal.
Did he?
Yeah, he just said, "Oh, you're gone. You're a criminal now."
Pretty damning.
Yeah.
This would be hard for your mother.
Yes,
because she'd love him. And
yeah.
What was her reaction?
Oh, I don't know. She never really commented on it. Not long after that, mother and father split.
Oh, okay.
So they went around anyway. Mum lived with Ian for a while. It was probably before the robbery.
The planning of the robbery. Now, you've got this understanding that you picked up over time, over different meetings, different meals and so on, about who might have had a bit of a master plan. And I have to say here that old Billy Longley, who may or may not have told the truth, because they were all quite capable of telling you something to suit themselves for some reason.
Yep.
He once said to me, and of course they always want to seem omnipotent and, they know and other people don't and all that.
Yep.
He once said to me, he said, there was a bit of a plan around, it was put to me once, son, that the bookie, that the Victorian club could be done. And I said, and who mentioned that to you, bookie? Billy? And he said, a horse trainer, actually, from the country, is what he said to me. Oh, wow. Now, that doesn't mean that happened, but I think it's probably clear, and you're going to comment on this, because you probably know more than any other living person at this stage, that somebody somewhere must have been able to put together a fairly articulate, fluent plan to do this. It was a window of opportunity, and it had to be well executed, well-oiled machinery, in a way that we don't see many robberies pulled. There's only one other crew, which is another crew entirely, that has done something as sophisticated as this. What are your thoughts are? There was,
yes. And
what makes you say that? We're talking here, listeners, about a person not actually in the gang, not someone who carried a gun on the day, but someone who said, here's the plan, this happens on this day, you be there, you do this and don't do this and do this and don't do this. Somebody drew a blueprint for them.
That's correct.
Maybe.
Yes.
Possibly.
That's my understanding.
Why is that?
Well, again, going back to the time, you remember I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
And young people tend to be impressionable.
Yeah.
And so at one time, and I don't remember the actual circumstances, I made some reference to Ray Chuck being a legend.
Yeah.
And the comment I got, and it's one of the few comments I got from Ian, is he wasn't the architect.
Right.
So in the book, I refer to this person
as the
architect.
Yep.
But Ian wouldn't have meant that as his alias.
No.
He was meaning...
I know, as an architect, lowercase.
But then I just used that as, I thought, okay,
perfect.
Well, that's a good character.
He'll be right in saying that.
Yeah.
But what we don't really know is who the other person, Mr. X, was. The architect.
No, that's correct. And I've read a bit, obviously you have, and there's a number of different thoughts of who that was. The one that I prefer, and again, it's just a gut feeling, is at some stage I read about Scotland Yard believing that it was a well-known English crim who was living in Australia at the time and was responsible for not just the bookie robbery, but half a dozen other major robberies around the place. What I put in the book is this guy who plans the whole thing, whoever he is, and he hands the blueprints for the, not for the building, but for the how to do it to them, and then they go away, and he wants nothing further to do.
Just he gets cut.
He gets
honour among thieves.
Yeah.
But you never heard a reference from anybody about who that
No.
guy was or could have been, or
No, so it's only from my own research and things. I mentioned about Scotland Yard had an idea. And
now just depending on loose newspaper talk, like everybody else does.
But they said they knew who he was, and that they described him as looking like Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
So
Whoever that's interesting. Isn't it?
but
We need a really old crook to
to go back to that. But
go back.
trouble is, they're not around.
They're not around. Yeah. So interesting thing. There's no doubt somebody had a bit of inside info.
Well, even just the basic thing about that, the access door between the building next door and
very well thought out.
Yeah, so and because there are also floor differences. So we're talking about the third floor of one building coming into the second floor of the Victoria Club.
Wonderful.
So it had been sealed over and painted over. So from the Victorian Club, they didn't know. And again, you would know.
Well, I got that from the bloke who, I think he was the secretary of the Victorian Club. We had some function in the place. A nice man. I think he's died since. He told me all that stuff about the access and the door, and it was painted over, and pretty well you didn't see it. But so it was there.
It was there. So for them to have known that, it's not something you'd stumble on.
No, and he did also say there was a bloke, and he said we never knew his name. We just got in the blowfly, who turned up. He said it was very loose, the Victorian Club. You didn't sign people in that much, and you could sign them in under bodgy names. Whatever. Once they'd been there, once they'd just wander in and get served. And it wasn't that hard for somebody to infiltrate the place and sort of hang around and drink and eat there. And someone did he said, this particular bloke for some weeks. But he said he never appeared again after the robbery. And he said he had some story about he was from South Australia and he was in transport and he'd hang around with different schools of drinkers and bookies and chat and all this. And he always thought that maybe that bloke was the sort of eyes and ears of doing the groundwork ahead of the thing, which brings us to the name of Stan James.
Yes.
Stan James was a bit older than some of these fellows. Now, your brother was born in
47.
Roman Patrick Chuck was born in
48, I think. Yep.
And I think the next one, the one that was the fighter, McNamara, born in 1950.
Yeah, the others were younger.
Stan James was born in 1946.
Yeah. Oh.
So he was a bit older than, Bennett. Chuck is often regarded as something like a mastermind, the leader of the gang.
Yeah.
But he was younger than this guy James. So they were all relatively young blokes. So they'd grown up fast in a tough school.
Had. I mean,
they'd been out there doing things since they were 14.
Yeah.
So by the time they're 28, they'd been around the block.
Yeah.
And we all know, of course, that Ray Chuck had been locked up in England, international crook.
Yep.
He'd slipped the leash there on weekly leave or something and flown home under a bodgy name, can you believe it?
Yeah.
And was seen in the northern suburbs and then flew back.
His time.
Finished his time.
I mean, that takes guts.
Just a wonderful crook.
Yeah.
In England, he'd been grabbed and knocked up for serious stuff, robberies. And he just switched identities with some Darrow. Some poor bloke was in there, been on the drink.
Yeah.
He's a vagrant. And Chuck said, he's 50 quid. I'm you and you're me. And he walked out as the vagrant, got a £2 fine. And the vagrant went up and said, oh, sorry, I'm not actually Roman Patrick Chuck.
Yeah.
And so top crook.
Yes.
In any company. Yeah. In any country in the world.
Yeah, but talking about the architecture, for want of a better name, it's kind of like in the military. The military intelligence come up with all the ideas and the best way to
do stuff,
strategically set it. But you then got a general on the field who has to implement it.
Yes.
And they have to be good
at
the end of the day.
And reaction.
And even just intelligent. How are you going to actually carry this out?
Yeah.
And that's what Ray was.
That's what Ray was.
Ray was, he was intense. He was intense.
And he had that sort of gravitas.
Yes.
Other people stopped when he started talking.
Yes, exactly.
That was a great insight into him.
Yeah. So, not demeaning
No.
Ray at all. He
of course
he was.
He was good at it.
He was good, yeah.
He's a very interesting puzzle, who the fifth Beatle was. The seventh member, if from one of them, and others.
Yes.
They'd said that somebody was driving
the van. Yes.
The van, and that was probably Fatty Smith, who wouldn't be walking in with a machine gun because he was too big and fat. He was close to them. Was supposed to be driving when Les Kane was killed. There were three in the building when they killed Les Kane.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think... supposed to be a fourth bloke in the car. That might have been the said Fatty Smith.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
No, maybe not, yeah.
Fatty really didn't have the respect for these guys to have had it involved. They didn't like him, basically.
Yeah, fair.
Not from a fact that it wasn't like a dislike like the Canes. It was wouldn't trust him as far as you could throw him, literally.
Yeah, it wasn't far.
And he was there, and yes, he did move money. He ran that to the Manila pub or bar that cleaned a lot of the money through and stuff like that. So he was used and he was on the fringe, but I don't believe he was either in the Les Kane or the bookie robberies themselves. I don't believe he would have been part.
Yep.
Both those things require tightness of a group. I mean, you can't have a person who's likely to fold when pushed.
Yeah, good point. But regardless of who it was, there
were others, yes.
And peripheral players, that needed to be, didn't have to be their best mates as long as they could do something.
And I wouldn't know who they were. I mean, I've got a character who is the driver in the book, but that was a fictitious...
Yeah, there is a driver. And
yes.
Who is he? Yeah.
Yep.
And I've written this, so it's not a secret, but I heard it a long time before I wrote it, and I heard it from someone who's in my own industry who had very good police contacts, that there was a senior policeman called Janetsky who was pretty tasty, and I think his daughter was married to a prominent abortionist in that era, which was a big deal. That's where a lot of money came from.
Yeah.
And that he supposedly sent the armed robbers and or major crime squad detectives who usually guarded the money on a wild goose chase 20 minutes before the delivery, thereby enabling it to happen.
Yes.
And Billy Longley, I think, said to me, well, of course, you wouldn't want to be robbing the Victorian Club and run up against those
the consorting guys. No.
That would be a problem.
Yes.
So whoever cooked up that idea of getting those police sent away at short notice, that removed that problem.
Yes.
Because it would have been a bloodbath.
Yes, exactly. That's the whole thing. I think I refer to it in the book. Back in those days, the police were a lot harder.
Yes.
And the crims were a lot harder, so they had to be.
Yeah.
But the police were renowned in the press even as being the type that would shoot first and then say, stop, police.
Oh, yeah. Armed robbery squad.
Yeah.
Your brother wasn't the only one with good cars.
Yeah.
I can think of an armed robbery squad fellow who was driving around an E-type Jag in that era.
Yeah.
They were interesting.
Yeah.
They were.
I heard a story yesterday from an ex-policeman, just friendship basis of what they were like.
In those
when they knock off, they then go to the park and drink until dawn and turn back up to work. I mean, it was a hard life.
Hard life, that's right. It was a funny old business. So, listeners, at this point, everything was set to go for the great bookie robbery. But to hear what happened next, you'll have to tune in next week. The book is called 11 Minutes. It's available online from Amazon and Booktopia and those sort of places.
Yep.
And it's well worth the price, whatever that might be.
Well, it's $34.99.
Yeah.
And it's also available at both Hill of Content in Melbourne and Abbey's in Sydney.
Thank you, Gregory.
Thanks, Andrew. I'll look forward to carrying on our discussions.
Thanks for listening. Life and Crimes is a Sunday Herald Sun production for True Crime Australia. Our producer is Jonty Burton. For my columns, features and more, go to heraldsun.com.au/Andrew Rule, one word. For advertising inquiries, go to newspodcastssold@news.com.au. That is all one word, newspodcastssold. And if you want further information about this episode, links are in the description.